The title Baron de Longueuil is the only currently extant French colonial title that is recognized by Queen Elizabeth II as Queen of Canada. The title was granted originally by King Louis XIV of France to a Norman military officer, Charles Le Moyne de Longueuil, and its continuing recognition since the cession of Canada to Britain is based on the Treaty of Paris, which reserved to those of French descent all rights which they had enjoyed before the cession. The title descends to the heirs general of the first grantee, and as such survives today in the person of Dr. Michael Grant, the 12th Baron de Longueuil, a cognatic descendant of Charles Le Moyne de Longueuil, the first Baron. History. The seigneury of Longueuil was first granted in 1657 to Charles Le Moyne de Longueuil et de Châteauguay, Sieur de Longueuil, and was raised to the label of Barony of Longueuil in 1700 by Louis XIV in recognition of Le Moyne's services. By 1710 the barony had expanded to include land from the St. Lawrence River to the Richelieu River and south along the west bank of the river to the seigneury of Delary. Charles Le Moyne was killed in action near Saratoga, New York in 1729, and the barony passed to his son, also named Charles Le Moyne, the third Baron, who was killed during the 7 Years' War. The third Baron's widow, Marie and Catherine Fleury de Chambeau, married William Grant in 1770, the son of the Laird of Blairfindie, Moray, Scotland. The barony was to be inherited by her daughter, Marie Charles Joseph La Motte de Longueuil, and Grant arranged a marriage to his nephew, Captain David Alexander Grant of the British 94th Regiment. The couple were wed in 1781 and their eldest son became the 5th Baron de Longueuil in 1841. At one point the barony included an area of about 150 square miles, and as the population of the area increased, much of it was sold into freehold. When the seigneurial system was abolished in 1854, what had not been sold was entailed. Although dissolved, the barony of Longueuil continued to receive seigneurial revenues until 1969. After the conquest of New France, the descendants of Charles Le Moyne maintained that, since Britain had promised to respect the ancient land tenures, it was obliged to recognize Longueuil as a barony. It was not until 1880, however, that a formal request for recognition was made to Queen Victoria. The matter was submitted to the law officers of the Crown, who ruled the claim to be well grounded and the rank and title of Charles Colmore Grant, 7th Baron de Longueuil, were formally recognized by royal proclamation, the royal recognition being officially announced as follows. The Queen has been graciously pleased to recognize the right of Charles Colmore Grant, Esquire, to the title of Baron de Longueuil of Longueuil, in the province of Quebec, Canada. This title was conferred on his ancestor, Charles Le Moyne, by letters patent of nobility signed by King Louis XIV in the year 1700. On the 10th of May 2004, the city of Longueuil in the province of Quebec was granted arms by the Canadian Heraldic Authority based on the arms granted by King Louis XIV in 1668 to the original Charles Le Moyne, Sieur de Longueuil, in the presence of the Lieutenant Governor of Quebec and the late Raymond Grant, 11th Baron de Longueuil. Letters patent. The original letters patent issued by Louis XIV are titled as follows: Erection en Baronnie de la Seigneurie de Longueuil en faveur de Charles Le Moyne de Longueuil, donné à Versailles, le 26 du mois de janvier l'an de grâce 1700 et de notre reine, le 5 septembre, signé Louis. An extract, providing for the devolution of the title, reads as follows: À ces causes de notre grâce spéciale, pleine puissance et autorité royale, now savent acute erigé, élevé et décoré, acute ens, erigens et décor couronnes passées présentes signes do not remain, l'héréditaire seigneurie de Longueuil, située en notre pays de Canada, en titre, nommé dignité de baronnie pour endure par la dite Charles Le Moyne, ses enfants, successors, ayant cause, et les descendants dissous en légitime mariage, pleinement et paisiblement, relevant to now sa cause de nostra couronne. For these reasons, we, of our peculiar grace, absolute power and royal authority, have created, established, exalted and decorated, and do by these presents signed with our hand create, establish and decorate the said land and seigneury of Longueuil, situate in our country of Canada, with the title, name and dignity of a barony for the enjoyment of the said Sieur Charles Le Moyne, his children and successors according to law, and the descendants of the same born in lawful wedlock, in full and peaceable subjection to us by right of our crown. List of the Barons de Longueuil, 1700 to 1729. Charles II Le Moyne, 1st Baron de Longueuil. 1729 to 1755. Charles III Le Moyne, 2nd Baron de Longueuil. 1755 to 1755. Charles Jacques Le Moyne, 3rd Baron de Longueuil. 1755 to 1841. Marie Charles Le Moyne, 4th Baroness de Longueuil. 1841 to 1848. Charles William Grant, 5th Baron de Longueuil. 1848 to 1879. Charles James Owen Grant, 6th Baron de Longueuil. 1879 to 1898. Charles Colonel Grant, 7th Baron de Longueuil. 1898 to 1931. Reginald Charles Grant, 8th Baron de Longueuil. 1931 to 1938. John Charles Moore Grant, 9th Baron de Longueuil. 1938 to 1959. Ronald Charles Grant, 10th Baron de Longueuil. 1959 to 2004. Raymond Grant, 11th Baron de Longueuil. 2004 Present Michael Grant, 12th Baron de Longueuil.